here to be talking about the company, but what I can say that Schneider Electric has grown very fast. So where is the choice? If you have to grow fast, you have to buy the talent. You can't grow the market very fast without buying the talent.
Okay, so buy the talent, build and buy is what I'm hearing. Anybody else? Yes. 1 second, please wait for the mic to come.
Hi, my name is Zishan. I'm from a company called as Employee Experts. I'm actually an entry-level HR professional. So when I graduated from my B school, what I had in my mind is technology is replacing people. Now, having said that from your perspective, technology is not replacing people, it's taking over the people to connect. Having said all these things, now how technology is helping transparency through your platform?
So in certain places, if you look at exit interviews, why are people leaving? Usually there's 3 reasons that people leave. One is they can make more money somewhere else. That usually is not first. The other 2 reasons are you compete for first and second. One is I didn't see eye to eye with my manager. What does that mean? There wasn't good communication between the employee and manager. So they weren't consistently talking and connecting. So a system that enforces those conversations helps solve that problem. Most of our clients, when we start with them, the performance review client compliance rate is about 70%. Meaning 70% of managers are actually having conversations with their employees, at best. After using a system like this, it usually goes up to about 97%. So you're dramatically increasing those conversations and ensuring that it's happening. So that becomes really important. The other reason people leave is because I'm no longer learning anything in my job. So either that makes it boring or it limits career advancement. So having a system that transparently shows all of the things you can learn and reminds the employee of all the different ways they are learning solves that problem as well. So both things help with retention, I believe.
Betty, would you like to add?
No, I mean, if your question was, does technology help in keeping people transparent from an HR perspective, I just add on to what Adam said. I think, given again, if I'm an employee and I've got a system to give a feedback, if I have a system to get an appraisee done, I think that's much more transparent. It keeps you that much more honest. You know, I might be a very introversial person. I might not like to share what I feel about it, but it gives me a platform to say exactly what I think about my role, the support that I had from you, or the absence of the support. If at all anything, it makes the environment more transparent, and I think it keeps us all honest.
Bipin, makes it more transparent?
Yeah, transparency is very much required because it's again the HR has to work with the senior executives to make it very transparent to win the confidence of the employees. And if the employees' confidence is not won by the transparent, definitely the attrition rate will be higher, the replacement cost will be higher and all. So I think so transparency is the
So
must.
technology helps in
technology helps.
Okay. Great question. Anybody else? Come on, yes.
Yeah, lady there.
I didn't ask a question on gender bias. Yes.
Hello everybody, my name is Rati and I belong to a startup called Transneuron. We are basically an e-learning portal. Since in the starting only you were discussing about the gap between industry and academia, so I'm mainly working into that particular field only. So my question is that we always see that industry is complaining about this gap, which students are not employable. We talk about the percentage and all, but what is industry doing to make the student employable? Should we blame the curriculum which is being set by the universities, or should industry involve in setting the curriculum? I mean, I want to know what you people think over this.
Great question. I'll go first if it's okay. Yeah, I think there are 2 points. We are grappling with this, all of us, and I think I'm very happy you're working on some startup to support this. 2 things. Today, Indian curriculum and Indian regulatory bodies being what it is, even keeping them aside for a moment, a whole lot of things can be done to add value to a student. Today, as many of the good institutions, including ours, as a student he or she passes out, along with their curriculum, they have an opportunity to have a bouquet of certification programs. Yeah, so if you're going and hiring somebody and you want to know if someone's got a supply chain exposure or someone knows US GAAP or IFRS, despite whatever curriculum they've done, it adds that much. So you don't need to really make it as a credit course. The second thing is a great point what you said. Many organizations, and I was talking to this lady I think before, and many organizations today are having a reverse flow. The industry guys go and become a part of the academia. We only have students go for internships. So we should have the guys in the companies go for internships to academia and sit with them for 3 months, 6 months, walk through with them on what sort of expectations they have, maybe modify the curriculum, maybe integrate your needs to the curriculum. But organizations like NASSCOM, organizations like, many of them have taken large initiatives towards this. So I think we are heading there. We haven't reached, but we are heading there.
Just to add to your point also, same thing we also did, that we partnered with the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, and we have done the two type of a partnership, one to develop the supply chain program along with our counterpart from the Europe, and secondly we have also seen that in aviation there is a deficit is there on the management side. So we have started the course of MBA course for the aviation sector also. So I think so, yes, without industry it is difficult, otherwise we have to just blame the university.
But my thing is that most of the students are coming from the second tier. I mean, obviously the top tier colleges, the students from the top tier colleges, they get good placements, they get good jobs, either end up opening a startup of their own. But what about the students who are coming from B tier colleges? And I think that is a massive students which we get, which enter the market. So some curriculum should be set for them, or it should be reformed again and again. It should be changed again and again. Something should be done. I just wanted to add that point. Thank you.
So interestingly, this is a raging debate in the United States. And it's generally believed that the curriculums at the schools are not adequate to train people for the modern workforce. And so there's general agreement that it needs to be changed, but nobody's figured out how to fix it.
I think we're pretty much, yeah. Yes, please wait.
This question, my name is Deepak and I'm an independent HR consultant. One of the key things that every company tries to do is the branding part of it. Large companies or small companies, everybody spends a lot of their time and effort on branding themselves to attract new talent from the market and also to retain their existing talent. So how, in the current market, current scenario, today some of the statistics are that every HR manager is almost in fear whether the guy to whom we have really offered will come and join the day he comes to, on the day of joining or not. What I understand is around there is 30% no-show cases in the IT industry, and also maybe a little less than in other industries. How can technology help in promoting the branding part of it and help companies in driving this? And of course, technology, we've heard so far that technology helps an employee to realize their potential. But how can it help companies to really get the right talent from the market and be attractive?
I tell you, the single biggest issue in employer branding is that often companies don't have authenticity. So they will have one brand and persona for the market, for how they do commerce, and they try to have a completely different one for the employee. And when you lack authenticity in a competitive market, it's very difficult to get those employees. The second is on the technology point, it's really about leveraging modern technology. So if you're trying to attract young workers, you have to use technology because they're getting their information from the internet, from social media. And so if you're not leveraging technology to distribute your brand persona, the people aren't going to understand who you are. So technology is incredibly important in driving demand for a particular brand, particularly amongst younger workers.
Okay.
But technology, it's like garbage in, garbage out. Technology will only help you to the extent of saying how good your organization is. And the technology is not going to change the way. Technology can assist. If you see the latest surveys, it's very interesting. I realized this the hard way after developing a huge website for my organization. People going into a website to understand about product and services globally has come down by 60%. They would rather go to a social media and have somebody's opinion. If they want to know about Manipal, they don't want to hear from my website. They know that I'll only say the right things about my university. So they would rather go to a social media and find out from someone who's been there, got an experience, and that's how they make an opinion. So there the technology helps. So the evangelists have to come from your organization, who hopefully you're doing a good job, and hence it spreads around. Technology can help you to spread the good word, but you should have something to first spread around. So I hope that when you're talking about that, you're hoping that your organization is good, and how do you take that brand forward?
But that goes to the authenticity point, because technology actually, with social media, is specifically telling the truth.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter what you try to market to the community.
exactly.
Social media is going to bring the truth out to the market.
Okay, yes, last question, yes, please, sir. There's a young lady at the back?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I am biased. Yes, after you, I'll take one more.
My name is Prasad. I'm from Kotak Bank. Wanted to just understand from you, what has been your experience, the biggest challenge that we normally encounter is how to build the onus of the career development on the employee himself. And how does system and technology help in ensuring that the responsibility lies with the individual employee?
So again, this goes back somewhat to the social media
But do you agree? Does it lie with the individual employee?
Well, that is, what I've seen is that companies have a very strong philosophy about that. So there's no right or wrong
Right or
answer
wrong,
to
okay.
that. Some companies believe it absolutely is the job of the company to decide where employees belong. And other companies believe that it is absolutely the job of the employer to decide where the employees belong. So I've seen both sides, and there's no consistency by region or industry or anything else. Both sides are true. Where the technology gets interesting is actually not current technology, but upcoming technology. So the advent of big data and machine learning allows systems to start to understand what are potential career paths for somebody based on what their known skills, competencies, experiences, and aptitudes are, so that the system could start to become a guide for you as to what to do next, what to learn next, where you could go. And having that becomes extremely useful, just like travel sites are very useful in planning your next vacation. Same idea.
Okay. Yes, sorry, no, the young lady at the back, yeah.
I work with an institute called Indian Institute of Human Settlements. I don't think it's audible.
Oh.
My question is, you build the talent, but you lose them to your competitors. How do you retain them? Is there an average life for how long you can keep them in our company?
There's definitely no average.
Original eye.
Definitely not. It entirely varies by business. And I think it goes back to authenticity. I mean, are you marketing your company one way and actually treating your employees another way? Or are you being consistent? Are you doing what you said you were going to do for your employees? And so this goes to engagement, right? So at the end of the day, employees that are engaged are more likely to stay. What machine learning told us, a very interesting statistic, is that the single most important aspect in determining whether or not an employee will stay is, do they have two friends at work? If they have at least two friends at work, they are much more likely to stay at the company.
By machine learning, they figured out that if they look at 10,000 resumes, how many the company would have actually hired. And that's a big, big win for the HR professional. Instead of hiring, interviewing 1,000 people or 10,000 people, if I could just run the machine learning. But the question is, how much of that technology is still in the labs and how much is in the play at the moment? And what's the foreseeable future that we see machine learning actually playing a very critical role in function like HR?
So not to get too technical, but big data is really enabled by cloud computing. So you've already seen this on the consumer side, right? Google is able to predict a breakout of an epidemic before the health agencies are able to, because they're able to look at searches for symptoms and map them to where a breakout is going to happen. Machine learning is used by Amazon and Netflix to figure out what you should buy or what you should watch. So those use cases already exist and already work. In fact, supposedly Amazon just applied for a patent for zero-click purchasing. They already have one-click purchasing. What's zero-click purchasing? They can actually predict what you're going to want to buy before you buy it and send it to you before you order it. You could return it if they're wrong. They said they're already 87% accurate. So they know that if they could get it up to 95%, it's worth sending it to you. So you have these amazing things. Now, that's because they have massive amounts of consumer data. Cloud computing has enabled the collection of massive amounts of enterprise data. And so I believe we are within the next 2 years maximum that you'll see very interesting machine learning happening in the enterprise. And the reason is, over the last